I'm Tedward, and this is my 1988 Porsche 911 Carrera. This car has got a lot of work done to it. It has a 3.2 liter flat six, one of the last of the air-cooled. It's got the G50 transmission, which is fantastic because it's a lot more modern than the 915 and it's a lot easier to shift this car. Some of the important upgrades on this car are the 911 930 turbo brakes, front and rear. It also has a large oil cooler. When I first bought this car, it scared the hell out of me because it's really raw, and that's what I was looking for, but you have to take some time to learn how to respect a car like this. The thing that inspires the most confidence when driving this car is just the fact that you can feel everything. There's no power steering, there's no ABS, and it's pretty rigid, so you know what's gonna happen. It might not be what you wanted to happen, but you know it's gonna happen. What's really important in a 911 like this is understanding how critical your throttle inputs are to the balance of the car. If you go into a corner expecting to be able to adjust dramatically within the corner, you're probably gonna end up backwards. That's a double-edged sword because on the one hand, you get to drive the car on the throttle, and that's a lot of fun, and you don't have to make crazy major inputs to get what you want out of the car. On the other hand, is if you panic and you do the wrong thing and you're mid-corner thinking, I need to bleed off some speed, and you lift, now you've just thrown yourself into an oversteer situation. So the real moral of the story is just you have to think when you drive. The exhaust is the M&K muffler with a cat bypass pipe. So that's what gives it that real raspy sound. It doesn't have that kind of smooth flat six sound. It definitely has a much more aggressive rumble to it. Suspension-wise, it's got the Bilstein HD's front and rear struts. It's got Smart Racing adjustable sway bars. It's got ERP poly bushings in the front and an ERP strut brace up front as well. The alignment, believe it or not, is -3 degrees camber in the front and -2.8 in the rear. Inside the car, we've got this Momo steering wheel, the Wevo shifter, the Voss Tech extra wide gas pedal. The pedal setup is a little strange to get used to because old Porsches are like old Volkswagen Beetles. The pedal goes like this. It's mounted into the floor. RSA door panels with the RS style pull tabs. There's a DSA sport roll bar, as well as these Recaro pole position seats and the Schroth Hans 6-point harnesses. It's always important to remember when you have harnesses like this that you should probably close your door before you get in the car. Otherwise, you're going to put your harness on, realize you can't reach the door, and have to take your harness off again. And of course, the wheels are Fuchs off a 930, so they're a little bit wider than the standard Carrera wheels. To put tires on these old Fuchs, there's really only a couple options. The Fusion tires, which are what's on here right now, and the Toyo R888s. The car has just about 84,000 miles on it, and most Porsche fanatics fall in love with this car the second they see it. So. The car is just all about the driver experience. There is basically no compromise. And that's where I think there's a huge disconnect between today's 911s and these 911s, where I could not imagine buying this car and daily driving it in 1988. Oh, train tracks. Obviously, I'm very biased about this car, and I didn't review it the day I bought it, and I wish I had, because the feeling I got when I first drove this car was like, oh my God, I'm driving a car for the first time. Like, this is the first car I've ever driven, really. I mean, honestly, it's like the most raw experience you can imagine. So I am gonna have to probably put it in the hands of Nick Murray at some point so I can get an unbiased opinion from him because he doesn't have any money invested in it. But hopefully that means I get to play with his 991.2.